Hello and welcome. I recently watched a video by Redstone Age with the rather provocative title, Have We Been Building Iron Farms Wrong? This also led me then to videos by Nico's Lost, and finally led me to building my own iron farm design. The result was surprising, and I felt I wanted to share it with my viewers. But let's start at the beginning. This is the design I usually use. It's by ENXO4, slightly modified just for visibility. We start with 3 villagers, a slab or two, a trapdoor, zombie in a boat, and a 5x9 5x9 iron golem spawning area. It's about 66-70% efficient. According to Nico, there's a few things we can do to modify it. We could add more spawning area, or we could add an extra villager. Both of these do improve the spawn rates, but not by very much. And then finally, we have the suggestion by Redstone Age, and also by Nico's Lost, of getting the golems out of range more quickly, in this case by dropping them. In the Redstone Age video, he built it by taking a trapdoor, creating, a little bit of observable redstone, fairly basic stuff, so that a piston would push the golem off the trapdoor using an observer and a piece of string. And this works when the golem appears, it's immediately dropped off the platform. However, because of the way the redstone's angled, you couldn't really put this side by side, and this limited spawn areas. So, how about we fix that? Up here we have a modified design. Instead of using an observer to watch the string, we use tripwire hooks, which is why string's observable in the first place. We then can just use a repeater to run that redstone behind the pistons and to the trapdoors, and achieve much the same, spawn and drop mechanic as we saw in Redstone Age's video. Since we're also already running a tripwire and a tripwire hook, we can take some advice from Nico Has Lost and run that signal to hide our golem only just after a zombie spawn, so that the only time the villagers are sleeping is when they've just created a golem and couldn't try to spawn another one anyway. And that's pretty much the entire modifications. The kill chamber is the same in the ENXO4 design. We've only used 2 things that you can't find in the overworld, and that's 2 bits of quartz for these 2 comparators. Everything else can be found in the overworld. No warped or, crimson gates, no observers, just pistons, redstones, repeaters, and comparators. And as I said before, the result was surprising. I've run this farm multiple times using the ticksprint command, each time for 12 days at a time, averaged it for what would be 3 hours playing time, and in each case it came out to about 475 iron bars an hour, which, if I'm not mistaken, is approximately 98% efficiency for a farm that you don't really need to get anything more than 2 quartz for the nether for. It's also very easy to build. You create a capture chamber for the golems to fall into, large enough for however big you want to build the farm up there. You make sure that you count 16 blocks above your water to where you start the mechanics of the farm itself, where the trapdoors will be. You create trapdoors and run a tripwire hook between the pair of them. Run the redstone from the tripwire hook strongly in 2 blocks here and here. We've built this design 11 blocks wide, but we've only done that to make sure that the spawn areas are no greater than in the ENXO4 design. You could easily add 2 more trapdoor lengths to either end, getting another, what would that be? 4, 8, 16 spawn spots, making the farm slightly more efficient. You then use a target block to run a signal up for our trapdoor detector. A little bit of a signal extender here, and if we've just detected a golem, we drop that piston down for a little bit, allowing the villagers to sleep at night. All I've done is put some slabs, some buttons, and some more slabs, so that when that zombie drops in the boat, the villagers can't see him. I've done this because, well, you don't even need a name tag this way. Over here we have our villagers. We've used a chain across the top to stop them coming out because they're too high and beds are slightly higher than half a block. So they're not going to come off there. And that's about it. So, once again, thank you to both Redstone Age and Nico is Lost for inspiring me to have a look at making my own iron farm. I hope this design is also interesting to you, and thank you for watching.